All right, you guys, it's Mind Blowing Thursday. So let's get straight into it. Let's meditate. So come to a comfortable seat. If you're in a chair like me, go ahead and put your feet flat on the floor. I'm actually going to take my slippers off so that I can ground a little bit, so that the soles of my feet are really connecting with the earth beneath me. And this works better if you are on the first floor. Um, but wherever you are, it's helpful to take those shoes off. If you're in a chair like me, just push your bottom back in the chair so that you're sitting up straight. Let's take the shoulders up and back. And then I want you to imagine that the crown of your head is warm and relaxed. So you can keep your eyes opened or closed. If they're open, just keep a gentle, unfocused gaze about 2 feet in front of you. Relax your forehead. So if you have any lines on your forehead, imagine them all being smoothed out. Relax your eyes. I like to move my mouth around to relax my face. So you might make a little duck face. Move it from side to side. Maybe blow some air into those cheeks. And then release that. So release the jaw, the throat. Let the shoulders drop. Relax those upper arms, the chest, the forearms, and the hands. So you can rest the palms gently in your lap. And relax the hips, the chest, the belly. Let the belly be soft. Relax those thighs and calves and feet. And then just scan your body from head to toe. See if there's any place you need to adjust. And then bring your awareness to your breath. So I don't want you to change how you're breathing. I just want you to notice the sensation of air as it enters and leaves the body right at the tip of the nostrils. So you might notice it's cooler on the inhalation and warmer on the exhalation. See if you can just notice that. Noticing the temperature of the breath. Maybe noticing the sensation as it passes those little hairs on the inside of the nostrils. So we're asking our mind to do one thing and one thing only, which is just notice the sensation of the breath right at the tip of the nostrils. Breathing gently through the nose, just your normal breath, but we're focusing completely on the sensation of air as it enters and leaves the body right at the tip of the nostrils. So if you find your mind wandering, just redirect it back to the breath. Our minds are busy. They're used to doing a lot of things and dealing with a lot of distractions. So just redirect your breath with love and compassion, as if you were talking to a child or someone that you love, because you are. Continue to focus on the breath, just the subtle sensation right at the tip of the nostrils. You might notice the air is cooler on the inhalation and warmer on the exhalation. See if you can be curious. If your mind wanders, just redirect it without any judgment. Redirect it with compassion. Just noticing the breath, seeing if you can follow that breath right at the tip of the nostrils. You might find that that sensation becomes more highlighted, more profound. It might even become pleasurable in a way that's a little bit different. Generally when we focus on one sensation, we amplify that sensation. So continue to focus on the sensation of breath entering and leaving the body right at the tip of the nostrils. We're just asking our mind to do one thing and one thing only. So if you find your mind wandering, just redirect it right back to the breath. We're focusing on the sensation of air as it enters and leaves the body right at the tip of the nostrils. Maybe noticing the temperature of the air, cooler on the inhalation, warmer on the exhalation. Maybe noticing those little hairs in your nostrils. Maybe noticing if the breath is weighted equally or if there's more breath coming through the right nostril or coming through the left nostril. Keeping our mind focused exclusively on the breath, the sensation of air as it enters and leaves your body right at the tip of the nostrils. If your mind wanders, redirecting it back to the breath. And then gently relax your concentration. Going to come back to our normal level of awareness. If your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them. All right, and you did it. So that was like a 10-minute um, guided meditation. And that was a simple breathing meditation. So, generally, when we are meditating, we want to use something as our anchor. I'm noticing the stuff that's sitting behind me. So you want to use something as your anchor. And the reason that we use an anchor is because it's not easy to get our mind to do one thing. And if you're new to meditation, you probably noticed that it's not easy. And that's why I like to remind you to give yourself the compassion, give yourself that love. Sometimes it's easier if you pretend that it's someone else that you're talking to, like think of a child or someone that you love, so that you don't just beat yourself up and give up, right? So you can do it and you can come to this video over and over again. I decided to start with the meditation because I've had a lot of my clients asking me for meditation, and here you are. So I hope that if you are catching this on YouTube, that you will like and subscribe to my channel so I can keep producing more content for you that meets your needs. And I tell you, we can all use meditation. There are so many benefits to it. For me, definitely calms me down, calms my nervous system. There are a whole host of physical health benefits to meditation. Maybe on a future live stream, I will go into more detail about that. But today, I just recently celebrated a birthday, and it got me thinking about what makes life meaningful? Like for me, a birthday feels like my personal new year. So I always do this kind of check in with what was accomplished last year, like personal shifts in me last year, and then looking to the year ahead. So I was thinking, okay, well, what makes a good year? Sometimes we have a good year because we feel like maybe we got that promotion we wanted. Maybe we're in a new relationship that we wanted. Maybe we had a major life change, like we bought a house or we had a baby or, stuff like that. But then I realized, some things you can control and some things you can't control. And I find it's always more helpful to focus on the things that I actually can control. So when I was thinking about things that I can control, I was thinking, how many books have I read? Have I been reading? Have I been making myself more knowledgeable? Um, or so it could be something like that. But also, how many smiles have you given? Some of us are out here mean mugging all day, all day long. So are you sharing smiles? Are you giving hugs? Um, are you giving encouragement? Those might be some of the things that make your year feel really delightful and powerful. And those are things that you can control. Even walking down the street, you can give somebody a smile. And listen, I'm from Brooklyn, so I know we can't just be out here smiling at everybody all the time. But you could smile at the person who's checking you out at the grocery store. You can share kind words. You can share encouragement. We can do that in our homes. We can also do it, with service workers. The Uber driver, or did I say Uber? The Uber driver. I'm mixing up YouTube and Uber. Um, but people who are bringing deliveries to our home, there's just a lot of opportunities there to kind of spread some joy, right? Because hopefully, we want to live a more joyful life. So I did, I like to do a little research, and I was pulling up from my friends over at ChatGPT. I don't know what we did before ChatGPT, right? Um, but I was pulling up some of the ways that life has more meaning. And, this is pulled from all different wisdom traditions, and it will resonate with you because it all makes sense, but it's interesting to think about. So, the first one that's on this list is connection and love. I have a book behind me, 12 Steps to Mind Blowing Happiness, and it goes through this beautiful series of steps. And one of them is connection, another one is self love. But this talks about the importance of connection. We are, as human beings, we have to be in community. So if you're not in community, you are absolutely welcome here. And I hope that you will leave some comments on me so I know that you've seen this. And I will get into more conversations about community as these Mind Blowing Thursdays continue. But definitely, community, connection, love, these are the things that make us feel our lives are meaningful as we go from year to year. The next one is purpose. Oh my God, they're speaking my language. I used to work as a financial advisor for 12 years. I was in telecom sales for many years prior to that. Um, but I really found my purpose in doing work like this that is so important to me. So, my name is Trish Ajel Roberts. I am a transformational leadership coach. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm a four-time author. I'm a corporate well-being strategist. So I help people really reach their purpose in a lot of different ways, whether it is through my speaking engagements or if it's one-on-one coaching. I help people reach that purpose. And purpose is what I found in my work. And I hope you find it in yours. Now, what I have found is that it doesn't have to be your full time job. It's great if you have a full time job that you love and you're passionate about, and that's where you find the purpose and meaning that you want in your life. But for many of us, I know for me, it didn't start out that way. I started out where I created a meetup group and I was really able to explore the things that I was excited about. I was getting into more yoga and hiking and more meditation and teachings. So you can find something that's not your regular job that gives you that sense of purpose, whether it's, planting a garden or playing an instrument or singing or whatever your jam is. I have dreams of roller skating. Yes, I'm one of those kids who did not grow up roller skating. So I don't know, one of these days you might see me out there with those, they look like the little walkers for people learning how to roller skate. It could be me one day. I don't know. But anyway, so you can find that purpose without it being your full-time job. And then it also talks about contribution. In Mind Blowing Happiness, I talk a lot about um, generosity, but not so much money, giving time and talent, which I like to think is part of what I'm doing now, right? Giving my time, giving my talent. So that sense of giving gives your life more fulfillment. I say in one of my books that that word miserable is very much connected to the word miser. So when you are cheap, you are not winning. You just aren't, even if you have a whole pile of cash on the side. There are so many people with money, but they do not have the love and the connection and the community and the people, right? Um, so talking about what makes life meaningful, and I'm touching on this list that I pulled together. The next thing that's coming up here is growth and self actualization. I hear the term self actualization tossed around, and I'm going to define it for you the way that I understand it and the way that I see it. So, in Mind Blowing 12 Steps to Mind Blowing Happiness, it really is the path to self actualization. But self actualization to me does not mean, oh, I have a great job and a great house, therefore I'm self actualized. Self actualization is that achievement of your fullest potential. So, walking in your purpose, right? I feel pretty self actualized now because my work and everything that I do is aligned with my purpose. Right? Now, does it mean I've reached my fullest potential? Well, of course not, but I'm on that path. Like if I were to think of someone who seemed really like they are there, it would be someone like Oprah, right? She's got a global audience. She's been doing this thing for, I don't know how many years it is now, 30 years or something, 35. It's been a while. Someone with this kind of huge impact. Now, most of us are not going to reach that point where we have a huge global impact, but finding that purpose, even if it is a smaller impact, we still are continuing on this journey, right? But the first step is figuring out what even your purpose is. What is it that you want to do? What are you passionate about? What is meaningful to you? Um, and that is part of what makes a year a great year or a life a great life. The next one that I have on my list here is a sense of joy, which, when you talk about joy, you are speaking my language. Um, it's amazing how in our culture, very often we have this idea that we should not be enjoying our life. We should be working, we should be grinding, we don't need sleep. We'll sleep later. Well, we will all eventually sleep later. But this idea that you should not be in the present, enjoying your life. And I personally believe that, this is an idea that was sold to us to keep us in this grind and to extract labor from us. So when you think about what a good year looks like, or what a good life looks like, it should look like joy. It may look like kicking your feet up and drinking some lemonade. It could look like lying on your belly and reading a book. It could be laughing and spending time with friends or having hobbies that you really enjoy. Having that joy, allowing yourself the space for joy and for pleasure, and knowing that it's actually important, right? It's important. We all have this kind of um, electromagnetic field around us. We all have auras. And people feel when they come into your space, whether they're coming into an energy that feels good, or if they're coming to an energy that can repel people, right? Like if you've ever walked into a room full of angry people, you know that that is not a good vibe in that room. So joy is important for having a good year, a good life, but it's also important. It's important in so many ways. We're going to get into it. This video is only but so long, but we're going to get into this. So make sure to stay tuned. Joy is important for your health. Being present and mindful is important for your health. Like in this moment, I am live right now and I am having a great time because I enjoy what I'm doing. And I also enjoy being live on camera. I think it's funny. Every now and then I think maybe I'll do something that will be weird and it'll make a fun blooper. But yes, so finding things that you do that you enjoy is important. Um, and then also for a meaningful life, there has to be the development of some resilience. Because if you live long enough, and I just turned 57, whoop whoop, if you live long enough, um, you will discover things happen, right? So for many of us, myself included, we may have had trauma in childhood, so we may have learned early in life that resilience is required, that healing is required. For some of us who maybe had smoother childhoods, things may have happened later in life. The reality is at some point, life is going to stop lifing. Life is going to begin lifing. I don't think it ever stops lifing. So at some point, life will be lifing, and you will realize that you need resilience. So whether it's relationships ending, people dying, jobs changing, socioeconomic environment changing, political environments changing, whatever it is that's happening, there is the importance of having a sense of resilience. We got to be able to get back up when things knock us down, right? I mean, you could stay down, but you don't want to stay down for forever. And the last thing on my list here for what a good year looks like or what a good life looks like is the idea of legacy. Is there something that you leave behind? And one of the things that I've been doing for the past, oh gosh, how many years is it now? About 4 years now, is I help authors write their books. I have 4 books of my own, and they did very well. And then I got into this space where I was doing contract work, um, helping other authors write their book. And then I started, taking on private clients for that as well. But I say all of that to say that that's one way to have a legacy. It's not the only way, but it's one way to leave something behind for your family, um, or for whoever follows you. Um, but there are other ways too. Some people find it through the volunteer work that they do. Maybe their name is on a bench or on a program, or maybe you build a business that outlasts your lifetime. So there's different ways to create legacy and to create impact. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that conversation about what it is that makes a life meaningful. I don't know when your birthdays are, but I hope that you maybe give that some thought, either now, maybe around the time of your birthday, maybe the start of a new quarter or the start of a new year. It's always nice to have certain times of the year when you kind of check in with yourself and see how far you've come and see where you want to go next. Now, I always like to end with kind of some actionable item that you can take with you for the week ahead. And I was thinking about, what's one action that you can take this week that will make you feel like your week has more meaning? What is one action item you could take for this week that would make your week feel like it has more meaning? So it could be like, maybe you'll start a new book, or maybe you'll finish a book that you already started, or maybe you'll watch a YouTube video that teaches you something. Maybe you'll go look at one of my old videos or something like that. Maybe you'll take a yoga class. I am obsessed with yoga. Um, but what would that look like? Would it be trying something new for the first time? What would make this week feel like a week well lived? So give that some thought. All right, you guys. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to close this out here. So bring your palms together, generate a little warmth here, and then try taking one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. We're going to take 3 breaths together. So inhale through your nose, let your belly fill. Remember, you're breathing into your belly, not into your chest. And then exhale with a sigh. Again, inhale through the nose, let the belly fill. Exhale with a sigh. And the last one, inhale through the nose, let the belly fill. Exhale with a sigh. All right. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed my content. I would like to provide more of this for you. And if you aren't getting my newsletter, Mind Blowing Monday 123, it goes out every Monday morning. You can register on my website, which is trishagelroberts.com, or you can go to mindblowinghappiness.com, and you will get 1 quote, 2 questions, and 3 ways to lead with joy for the upcoming week. It will also keep you up to date on in-person events that I have coming up. So I will have some workshops, some retreats, some beautiful things to share with you. And that's it. I wish you freedom, alignment, and effortless abundance. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.